It's week 2 of the federal election campaign and the polls are already moving significantly. I usually only stick to talking about Newspoll in detail and we'll wait for their next poll before drilling into the numbers, but polling out today in the Nine media showed the Liberal vote is lifting, Labor's is falling, and importantly a rise for Scott Morrison as preferred Prime Minister over a sliding Anthony Albanese. And overnight at a music festival, the opposition leader wasn't even hitting all the right notes with what would have been a largely lefty crowd.
G'day. It's great to be at Blues Fest. I begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet. Pay my respect to elders past and present. And what we want is to recognise First Nations people in our Constitution. Australians have been magnificent over the last couple of years, and what we want is a government that backs the arts sector. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jimmy Barnes.
How about that, hey? Look, you know, politicians at music festivals and sports events often get a boo, but it's been interesting to watch the media today instead of just revelling in that booing as they normally do when it's a coalition figure. They've been trying to explain it, trying to justify the booming. It wasn't really about Anthony Albanese, a lot of them are saying. Anyway, of course, it just underlines, though, that the momentum in the polls and in the public debate has turned, and it's not good for Anthony Albanese and Labor. There's a long way to go, though, and this is going to be hand-to-hand battle every day in every seat until polling day. Last week, I went into some detail to show you the scale and importance of Albanese's mistakes on border protection, and I outlined Labor's disastrous record in this area. Then, incredibly, the Labor leader made it even worse on the weekend, this time not seeming to know whether or not his party supports temporary protection visas, a crucial part of any border protection package.
Do you remain committed to Operation Sovereign Borders, and if so, do you support the retention of temporary protection visas?
Yes. Earlier on, I heard half the question and didn't hear all of it. Labor's policy is to support Operation Sovereign Borders. We support offshore processing. We support resettlement in third countries. We don't support temporary protection visas. Thanks.
So he got it wrong again, not across even his own policy. Blames his hearing or something. But even worse, of course, when he does get his own policy right, it is the wrong policy for the nation. Temporary protection visas are vital, as the Prime Minister pointed out today.
In August of 2008, Kevin Rudd abolished temporary protection visas. That was the green light to Labor's border protection failures. You want to date it? That was the day they said people smugglers are in business. And from that day on, the boats came and they just kept coming and they just kept coming and people kept on drowning. And Labor had no credible answers.
No flies on the coalition campaign team today because, picking up on Labor's border protection errors, Morrison was in Western Australia announcing the construction of 2 more patrol vessels to help keep our northern borders secure. So it was the perfect event to highlight this policy contrast.
So I am just amazed that after all of this time, Anthony Albanese is saying that he would abolish temporary protection visas if he were to become Prime Minister. After all of this time, Labor have learned nothing when it comes to border protection.
Yeah, it's not a great start to week 2 for Albo, is it? He drew attention to border protection with his own mistakes. This is the trouble with his errors so far in this campaign. They're not on minor issues. They can't be easily shaken off, as he promises. He's making mistakes on the economy and border protection, 2 fundamental issues for this country, of course, and 2 great strengths for the government, 2 shocking weak spots for Labor. At this rate, he'll stuff something up on defence and dealing with China by the end of the week.